I crazy, or does it seem like gaming is gasping and wheezing on the side of a road while some soulless CEO tries to get us all hooked on the smack of live services?
Looks like product.
I said, this motherfucker. I mean, the nerve, the temerity.
The business model where you pay for everything and you own nothing. Over the last few years, it's clear that the gaming industry is headed face first into another industry collapse. When FIFA underperformed 2 years in a row for EA, I knew the jig was up. Either that or the fans of FIFA realized they were paying full price for the same game over and over again with small yearly incremental updates.
He's out of line, but he's right.
EA Sports, FC25, flops, spooks investors, sinks stock prices.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer company.
Oh no, what happened?
The company maintained a positive outlook with regards to its gaming quality. This month our team delivered a comprehensive gameplay refresh in addition to our annual Team of the Year update in FC25. EA CEO Andrew Wilson said, "Positive player feedback and early results are encouraging."
Microtransactions, subscriptions, in-game rewards, and additional revenue outside of the base game sales represent the majority of EA's business. The live services and other segments accounted for more than 73% of the $7.56 billion in 2024. Revenues up from 66% since 2020.
Andrew Wilson, Mr. Sinister if he got into gaming instead of mutant genetics.
When I look at FIFA, it reminds me of something in the motorcycle world that I like to call the Gixxer effect. Suzuki has sold the same GSXR 750 since 2011. FIFA's pretty much that for EA. Oh yeah, and Dragon Age crashed and burned, that also hurt EA stocks a bit too, but highlighting that is like beating a dead horse. Ubisoft was reeling from the bad press of Assassin's Creed Shadows. It was a success or a massive failure, depending on who you spoke to on Twitter.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
But one thing is irrefutably true. They still had to sell out 25% of the company to Tencent.
Ubisoft's $4 billion carve-out sells Tencent a 25% stake in some of its biggest games. Tencent will invest $1.3 billion in a new entity controlling Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six. The moronicism of Ubisoft is driven home by the success of a developer who quit the company to do his own game to critical acclaim. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33 director, left Ubisoft because he was bored. According to Guillaume Broche, it would have taken 25 years to navigate all the bureaucracy in AAA studios just to get started on the game. Claire Obscure sold 2 million copies in 12 days. In that timeline, Assassin's Creed sold 1 million copies, but claimed to have 3 million players, which leads me to believe that they were also counting people playing it on Ubisoft Plus. The problem with gaming today is that it's too corporate, it's too mainstream, and when these elements worm their way into any hobby, into any subculture, creativity is crushed under the weight of bureaucracy, political correctness, and the never-ending pursuit of money. We are in the digital dark age, and if you don't believe me, Call of Duty, Jay and Silent Bob, fire up Call of Duty their way.
The 420 way, am I right? The devil's cabbage, gotta smoke it.
Call of Duty, threat level, extremely giggly. Seth Rogen joins the fight in Call of Duty, coming to Season 3 of Reloaded.
How does it feel to have lived long enough to see all of your favorite franchises go down in flames?
Feels great.
In an age of creative stagnation, there can only be imitation. Call of Duty and many other shooters are reduced to copying Fortnite in some sad attempt to stay relevant by putting celebrities from the early 2000s in the game.
How do you do, fellow kids? What?
Because a 15-year-old loves weed humor from creatively geriatric comedians that haven't been funny in the last decade and a half. But not to be outdone, EA also has some horrible news yet again.
Titanfall game has been cancelled at EA Respawn. It was an extraction shooter. 300 to 400 jobs at EA were eliminated today.
Don't worry, the shareholders see profit and growth, so that's all that really matters.
Titanfall was created by the original members of Infinity Ward, who were cancelled by Activision after the original Modern Warfare dropped and blew our collective minds. Infinity Ward had created a high-energy shooter in the style that made them famous, with the futuristic twist and also having some killer mechs in the mix. Titanfall arguably was the last unique first-person shooter. I guess when Apex Legends dropped and it had more diversity than a bag of Skittles, I should have seen the writing on the wall that I would never see Titanfall again, especially when EA loves games that focus on selling digital garbage. Anyway, Respawn posted a long corporate letter that mirrors all corporate letters we have seen 1,000 times for forevermore in Sancionados. A whole lot of word salad that ultimately means someone's getting fired, a game has been canceled, and we need to free up money for the CEO's bonuses. After Liberation Day Jack punched the socio-economic landscape right in the sweetness like Bitcoin did last fall, the house of cards known as the gaming industry came tumbling down. Nintendo decided it wasn't going to wait for GTA to make the $100 base game the standard. It went right for the throat with digital copies of old Zelda games that you could buy on eBay for $20 to $40. Now it's $70 to $80. Cough it up for Miyamoto.
That price is not so bad. The game itself is a little expensive.
Okay.
Now with tariffs, we don't know if the tariffs are affecting this console right now. We do know that in 2019, Nintendo moved production of the console out of China to Vietnam to avoid the tariff war. But as we know today, Vietnam was just hit with tariffs. So we have no idea how that's going to work or anything. That you would hope that Nintendo might have planned that into the release of the system. But we'll see from there.
Touches so.
What also amazes me is how Nintendo's completely come out and let everyone know that if you modify your Switch 2, that they have every right to brick your console and make it totally unusable. Only the gaming industry has such absolute hubris and disdain for their own customer base. Could you imagine buying a car or motorcycle, putting an exhaust on it, and then, I don't know, Ducati's just like, sorry, bud, we detected that you put an exhaust in your bike, so we're now going to do this to it so your bike never works again. Thank you very much.
On May 1st, Microsoft went ham, jacking prices for consoles no one was in a mad rush to buy in the first place.
Microsoft is raising prices on the Xbox console with games set to hit $80 this year.
Oh, what a treat, what a treat.
As of May 1st, we'll be adjusting our recommended retail pricing for our consoles and controllers worldwide. We also expect to adjust the pricing of some of our new first-party games starting this holiday season at $79.99.
Some of these games are on PC, and now they're going to PlayStation. You have no bartering chips.
We understand that these changes are challenging, and that they were made with careful consideration given the market conditions and the rising cost of development. Looking ahead, we continue to focus on offering more ways to play more games across many screens and ensuring value of the Xbox players.
The tariffs are accelerating the gaming industry crash. How can we be expected to pay more for such mediocrity? This may be why the gaming industry is relying so heavily on GTA 6, but with it being delayed till May, the hope for a $100 base game will take another 6 months minimal. And when that happens, the final ushering in of the triple-digit game era will begin, which, if judging by internet reactions, and Take-Two stock prices skyrocketing, the people will pay. We are the only generation that has lived through at least 4 life-altering events in the last 8 years. And the only thing one can glean from all of this is,
it can always get more lame and gay. I guess the $100 digital game is next on the menu.
This is fine.
I'm getting impatient at this point. News of the delay has landed hard with fans such as Diane Kawende, 27. I'm absolutely furious right now. He tells the BBC News Beat, there's fire flowing through my body right now.
This ruffles my jammies!
little dude was crashing out. He was spazzing hard.
GTA 6 will only be available on PlayStation 5 and Xbox at launch, meaning owners of older consoles will need to upgrade to play it.
A 27-year-old man is losing it to play his video game. Not a 12-year-old. With little else to look forward to in their life due to a lack of freedom, this generation is cooked.
Can't do it. I can't take this shit no more, man.
Grand Theft Auto 6 delay just affected the entire video game industry. What's clear is that Grand Theft Auto 6 has found itself touted as the linchpin to the video game industry's near future. Any news on the project's development has a huge ripple effect. So how does a 6-month delay reflect significant change in Rockstar's corporate culture? What? Calls into question this year's console market revenue and potentially affect the Switch 2.
Isn't the Switch 2 coming out like in a few days? Like, how does that make sense?
This generation needs a definitive console shift title. It needs Grand Theft Auto 6. If you're a publisher releasing at the same time as Grand Theft Auto 6, is akin to throwing a bucket of water in a tsunami.
When the entire industry needs and also fears one game, that's not a sign of growth, it's not a sign of creativity, it's a sign of absolute stagnation, to the point of where people are so bored that they only care about one game in a console generation, when there used to be entire armies of great games on a console. Or multiple consoles. Not to mention GTA 6 isn't really pushing the industry itself forward. It's more about making the $100 base game a thing, because all of these other companies know that only GTA can pull this off. Considering that GTA 5 made $8.5 billion by 2024, Take-Two is foaming at the mouth off of the very idea of the $80 plus base game, and the money printer known as GTA Online shark cards. The shark cards that Take-Two wanted to defend so badly they literally took down modding sites for Grand Theft Auto 5 because they thought gamers were less likely to spend more money on a free skin. If anything, GTA 6 will usher in a new age of games as service and cash grabbing. New heights of digital avarice will be achieved. The events that will unfold will not be undone. It will embolden already tone-deaf AAA game companies to try and emulate GTA's success by focusing solely on its monetization practices, and the industry will collapse under the weight of its own greed. Oh well, as a wise man once said,
Don't matter. None of this matters.
And on that, I'm going to bed. I will admit GTA 6 does look cool though.